Welcome to MMA Underground. You know, Buddy V, Modern Aztec Warrior. We have Jay, the co-host, and yes, down below, the Mexicutioner himself, Joey Beltran.
What's up?
What up? What up? How you doing?
Excited. I'm ready for this show. I'm like, all right. How's your night going so far?
Going good. Just chilling. Out in Miami right now for my wife's training camp. We just watched a Disney movie, Lady in the Tramp, live, or what's the word? I don't know, where it's not animated. It was like real dogs running around, so it's pretty cool.
Oh, okay. Yeah, live action. Yeah.
Live action movie.
No, that's crazy cool. And that's crazy because I know some of the things I was going to ask you definitely involved your wife too. Like, for one, how cool is it that you're a BKFC fighter right now? She's a BKFC fighter. You guys get to just whoop ass together. Like, is that awesome or what?
It definitely is. It definitely is. It's definitely a lot more, what's the word? A lot more positive than negatives for sure. But I mean, it's definitely hard, you know, it's stressful. Like, fuck, man. She's probably the most active fighter. I think, yeah, the active fighter on the whole damn roster. This is her third fight just this year. So we've been together about a year and a half or so. She's fought like 5 times or something outrageous like that. So I mean, it's crazy. I've only fought like 3.
Dang.
So between the two of us, I think this is our 9th fight together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I mean, when you go out, you got to hold your wife back instead of her holding you back. You're like, hey, honey, calm down. Don't catch the case.
Yeah. I know.
How much more stressful?
It's funny like that.
How much more stressful is it watching your wife fight compared to you fighting? Because I bet you watching your wife has to be more stressful.
Absolutely, without a doubt, man. I could fight 8 days a week. You know, it's no big deal. I've been doing this shit for almost 16 years. You know, but like being in the corner for her is like, oh my god, it is nerve wracking. But yeah, I'm getting better. I'm getting better as each fight gets by. You know, learning her mental process and everything. Because I mean, she's a warrior, man. Make no mistake about it. She's a warrior. She's a straight G. You know what I mean? Yeah, I have utmost respect for her. You know, even if we weren't together, I have so much respect for her as a fighter, as a coworker per se. You know, and then on top of that, like. I'm in love with her, so it's like, fuck, I don't want to see her get hurt, and so it's so crazy. It's crazy.
Hey, heck yeah! So it's with you being such a fighter, like you said, you've been here for so long. I mean, how does it kind of feel being like a legend? I mean, when people talk about Joey Beltran, you're gonna bring up other names like Diesel Riggs. I mean, they might even cross over and say Nick Diaz or Rampage Jackson. I mean, do you consider yourself a legend, or you just consider yourself just kind of like a fighter?
Well, a little bit. I mean, it's just like I used to be really nonchalant about it. You know, I was just so like heavy into the game myself. You know, like what's the next fight? What's the next fight? What's the next fight? I didn't really stop to smell the roses per se. You know, and like even when I had the belt, it was like it didn't really like mean that much to me because I was just worried about who's the next fight, who's the next guy that's gonna try to take me out. You know,
Yeah.
and you know, so I've slowed down a little bit, just a little bit, and really take a look back at what I've done over the years, and it's like it's not outrageous for someone to say that word legend. You know, it's pretty cool.
Well, from a guy who fought in the UFC, Bellator, bare knuckle, everywhere else, like how was that transition from like MMA to bare knuckle boxing?
You know, I mean, it was kind of trip how it happened. So it's like a few years ago, I went through some hardships, man. I got really out of control with my partying, as I like to call it, and I had to go to rehab and check myself in rehab. And when I came out, I didn't fight for like 18 months, and then I came out, and then one of my old managers hit me up. He's like, "Hey, champ, you in shape?" And I was like, yeah, of course. And he's like, all right, Sergey Karatanov in Russia, 20-20. I was like, fuck, let's go, man. And I took that fight basically like 5 weeks off the couch, and went and fought my ass off, lost the decision, but at that time, I mean, Sergey was knocking out everybody. He knocked out Big Country. He knocked out Mitrione. He was killing everybody. And so I went all 3 rounds with him, had a crazy scrap, did really well. So I was like, I still got it. I still got it in the tank. I'm gonna stay at it. I went back home. I started training, trying to get some smaller shows, like regional shows, because I had been cut by Bellator at the time. Try to get some fights, and for whatever reason, I couldn't get anything lined up. And then one of my old coaches hit me up and was like, "Hey, man, you wouldn't be interested in doing this bare knuckle stuff, would you?" And I was like, "Yeah, sounds fun. Let's do it." And fuck, man, I just really stepped into the unknown and had that first fight with Tony Lopez. And you know, if you haven't seen it, check it out on YouTube because that shit was a banger.
Yes.
And you know, after that, I was like, all right, this is what I'm doing now, and you know, it's worked out. It's worked out.
So with that first fight for the BKFC, I know you took that win. We all know who. But you fought him once previously, right?
I've actually fought Tony 2 times in MMA.
Oh.
And yeah, I lost 2 times that motherfucker. You know, it's funny because like I was talking to Britton because Britton was like, oh, I hate it. Like we were talking about Christine Pereira. I was like, hey man, I'm like, I understand like the hatred and you have in your heart because I waited 9 years to fight a motherfucker. I fought Tony Lopez in 2009, lost the blame ass decision, and then I went to UFC like the next fight or 2 fights later, and I went off, did my whole career of UFC, Bellator, yada yada yada. But I still had a special place in my heart for that motherfucker. So when I had an opportunity to fight him in bare knuckle, I was like, oh yeah, and fucking finally get that W over him. It was all worth it. So I was like, I am that petty. I'll wait 10 years to fight a motherfucker.
Yeah, hell yeah. I'll stay on your good side. Shit. With the transition and all that stuff, do you actually have to take care of your hands completely different since you are using bare knuckles, going straight bone on skin?
You know what? The funny thing is that I always say like I've never been like a one punch knockout type fighter. I've always been a volume. I've always, you know, got my knockouts with just outlast motherfuckers, and so it's like my style and my natural style is just transferred over. So I've never really had troubles with my hands. I've never done any of that crazy stuff like hit my knuckles with hammers or any of that dumb shit. If anything, like I baby my hands and wear extra padding leading up to in the training camp so that when shit pops off for the first time, that's really when it really pops off, you know, like my hands have been taken care of up until that point.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just with the training, I'm curious. Do you feel it's a little easier considering you have to train, you know, from the waist above versus when you train for MMA, you have to have your full arsenal ready to go? Or do you feel like it's equally as challenging?
Well, I mean, for me, definitely like the biggest thing. If I've lost a step, it's definitely in my wrestling scramble. It's the up and down of the grappling aspect of MMA, you know. And so it's like that. You know, I have bad knees. Fucking shout out to high school football players. That's where my injuries are from. It's not from fighting. It's from 2 blown ACLs in high school football. Like how ridiculous is that? But it is what it is. You know. So now, just boxing, it's just more of for me, it's more of a mental challenge. You know, it's like, you know, changing the way I've trained, especially in my older age. You know, and like. And really focusing on trying to develop my skill set.
Well, being that you're one of the OGs of the fight game, what made you get into the fight game? Because dudes are making way more money now than when you got in the fight game. So what made you do it?
You know, honestly, I mean, it was just since I was a little kid, it was my dream. Like I always remember my uncle. He took me to watch pro wrestling when I was 5 years old, and I watched Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Andre the Giant main event at San Diego Sports Arena. And back then, I thought wrestling was real fighting, so I was like, "Oh, this is what I want to do. I want to fight in arenas. This is what I really want to do." And then, little by little, like I started doing some boxing when I was like 10 years old till about 15, and then I started wrestling in high school. And I played football, though I wasn't that good. But I really did well in wrestling, the one-on-one aspect of it. Like I loved it. And so when it was just like right place at the right time, like early 2000s, like it was popping, especially in San Diego. I mean, we had some great local fighters. Dominic Cruz was running. He was the 155 champ of the league that I was in. Total Combat was the name of the promotion. And Dominic Cruz, Toby Amada, Brandon Vera was a staple in local San Diego MMA. So it was a great time to come up. And, I remember when I started, I was like, man, I'm not going to be one of these guys that just stays at, Gladiator Challenge, beating up local people. Like, if I don't make it to a big show in 3 years, I'm done. I'm going to get a normal job. And I made it into the UFC 4 days shy of my 3 year mark.
What was that like? Getting that news that like you're gonna fight in the UFC? That had to be a dream come true. What was that like?
Oh yeah, man, it was crazy, But I will say this: it's one of those things. Like, what's I use Les Brown is a motivational speaker. I used to watch a lot of his videos. It's like, shoot for the moon, you'll land in the stars. Shoot for the stars, you'll land on your ass. It's one of those things. It's like I was just so infatuated with the idea of getting into the UFC that once I got there, I was like, well, all right. I kind of didn't really have like a plan after that. I was like, all right, well, I'm in the UFC now. It's cool. I fought for 4 years for those guys, and in retrospect, like if I would have had more clear-cut goals, who knows what I would have done. But it's all good. It was a phenomenal experience, and it's one thing that I know that even as cool as bare knuckle is, or at least right now, I don't know, maybe in the future, but we'll never have that experience of walking out into an arena with 15,000 fans, like going nuts. Like I remember I walked up to the Conseco Fieldhouse and fought Matt Mitrione. It was 18,000 people. Like that was crazy, like unbelievable experience. That's. It's hard to explain, man, unless you've been there.
I can imagine.
Well, I got one last question before I let Buddy V get back in. What was it like negotiating with Dana White and Scott Coker? Because you hear different things between UFC and Bellator, and for some reason, fighters seem to have a bigger love for Bellator than the UFC right now.
I'll talk a little bit about that. So it's funny thing you say that is that like when I was in the UFC, I never really conversated with Dana White. I never really had a single conversation. I never really talked to Dana White. Everything was Joe Silva, and Joe Silva's the matchmaker. So you hear the horror stories of he would just talk mad shit. I never heard it because I was on the phone. I just heard from manager. He would just talk mad shit about the fighters and be real, like. He made you feel like you are very expendable. Like you can be out of here and be replaced real quick. So watch your mouth, boy. Like I never really talked to him, Dana White. It was always Joe Silva. Joe Silva was mean. And then in Bellator, I made it a point in my head, okay, well, when I go to Bellator, I'm gonna talk to the matchmaker. I'm not gonna be scared. And it was Rich Chow. Rich Chow is Scott Coker's matchmaker. Rich Chow was awesome. I had a really good, could pick up the phone and call him relationship. He's super cool, real down to earth. And so then when I went to it's funny when I went to BKFC, I was like, I'm talking to the man. I'm only talking to the man that cashes checks, that writes the checks. So it's like, no disrespect to the matchmaker at BKFC, but I didn't even know that they had a matchmaker until my third fight because I only talked to David Feldman. directly. And, so it's like step by step by step. You know, that's how my experience has gone. You know, but you know, so we can't really say, but I don't really have an opinion on Dana White because I never really talked to the guy.
Well, I know I saw Solo had a question about an opinion that you might be able to answer. Do you have a personal favorite fight or your favorite match?
Oh man, I think it's definitely a tie between the Matt Mitrione and my Tony Lopez first fight in BKFC.
All right, I like that. And I had a question I was waiting. I can stem off of that. Out of every fight you had, you don't have to answer it though. Who hit the hardest out of any opponent?
It's funny, like, you know, you would think like, oh well, the person that knocked me out, but it's like when you get knocked out, you don't feel it. You just get. That's like you're swinging, and all of a sudden you wake up and the doctors are looking at you. You're like, fuck, you know. So, but the one same answer, Matt Mitrione. Like I remember, first round I did really good, got him to the ground, was whooping his ass. Second round I was coming forward really aggressive, and I remember he hit me with like a check right hook because he's southpaw, like a check hook, boom, as I was coming in, and I just heard like a blowhorn in my head, like. And it went on for like 30 seconds, and my head I was like, oh shit. And then like the second that like everything stopped shaking, then I was like, all right, I'm good, and just started fighting again. So I'll give shout outs to Meathead. He got that.
What was it like? What was the feeling when you won that BKFC belt?
Oh, that was awesome, man. That was like, you know, that was just it was very, very cool. More so for like my friends and my family that had been down with me since 2007. You know, finally, it was like a belt for them. You know, that I could take home and like, here, this is for always being down, for like always getting online and fighting in the comments and shit. You know, like waving my flag. You know. It was for them, you know, and my mom and my sister. It was phenomenal.
Yeah, I can imagine. Shit, what was I going to say? Oh, so obviously you said because with injuries and stuff, you prefer a little bit more of the bare knuckles, so that way you don't have to worry about joints. But if that wasn't an issue, do you feel like you would prefer MMA over boxing or the bare knuckle, or not so much? Because like you said, your wrestling wasn't like 100%.
I think that they're both awesome. They're both fun. Like I went and had an MMA fight in 2019. I went out to Russia and got one just so I could mentally like end that sport on a W. You know, so it's like, all right, took care of that one, and that was super fun. You know, but it's like bare knuckles is a whole other beast because it's like. Even on the fights that you win, like I remember I fought Marcel Stamps and knocked him out in the 4th round. And you think, oh, that's a great fight, you know, but I still had like stitches in my eye, stitches in my ear, my cauliflower ear got popped open. So it's like, you know, it's just such a risk versus reward, you know. And bare knuckle, man, you're even on the matches that you win, unless you win a clean knockout early on, like you're gonna walk out, you're gonna know that you're in a fight. So it's like. You know.
I'm excited for a couple different fights. Like, yeah, I'm ready to see your wife fight. I'm ready to see the Kai Stewart versus Rusty Crowder. I'm ready the Blackout fight too. I'm just like, I'm glad I got the subscription.
Kai is a young monster. Kai Stewart is a young monster.
That guy's good, man. That kid's good.
That is, and I was gonna say, have you, watching all sorts of fights, being in the fight scene? You ever watch Street Beefs?
I have. I definitely have, for sure, on the internet.
Yeah, heck yeah. What do you think about that? I'm a Street Beef scrapyard fighter. You.
Oh hell yeah! You know, it's crazy. Is it So I went to a smoker with my wife. Cool. I've never been to a smoker, like, amateur boxing, like unsanctioned amateur boxing, whatever. and I sparred this guy, and apparently then my wife's cousin.
Hey, I can't hear nothing right now.
Oh,
Sorry.
Oh, and anyways, it ended up being some guy from Streepy's, Pitbull Matthews.
yeah, that's
and, like, it was so funny. Like my wife's cousin hit me up. She's like, "Oh my God, Joey fought Pitbull Matthews," and I was like, "I guess I did."
God damn.
hell yeah. Yeah, I got to hear you, JT.
I can't hear.
Log out and log back in. Hey.
All right, yeah. All right, here, I got another
Don't
one
worry,
for you now.
Sorry about that.
Being a professional fighter and having been in the game for so long, have you ever been able to actually meet like a fighter that you thought of as an idol that you looked up to?
Funny you say that. Is I got a good story. So Nick Diaz, right? I've always been a hardcore Nick Diaz fan ever since the first Robbie Lawler fight. Like that was, way before I started fighting. And there had been a couple times that me, him, and Nate had all been in the same room a couple times. I was like, I'm not gonna nerd out for a couple reasons, I'm like, nah, fuck that. And then I saw him in Vegas one time, and we both happened to be. I was drinking, and I was walking, and he looked at me. He's like, "Hey, what's up?" He flagged me down. I was like, "Oh shit!" I went over. I was like, "You know what, man? Much respect. I've always been a fan, and always respect you." I never said what's up to you because straight up, you're norteño, man. I can't be doing that. And so for those of you that are like, norteños, sureños, that's a big deal in California. My brother's a Southsider, so I had to rep. And, so I couldn't cross those lines, but at that point in time, I was drunk. I was like, I'm saying hi to Nick Diaz. Fuck it. So it was pretty funny because I was like, yeah, man, I never said what's up to you because you're a norteño. And he's like, it's all good, homie, and shook my hand. That was it.
Right, hell yeah. Brown pride too. I love being a Chicano. Yeah. So you want to tell some of our viewers where you got the nickname the Mexicutioner from?
Yeah, it was funny. It was my second fight or so. And I was with my teammates and we were talking. We were like, we're throwing around a couple ideas like Brown Bomber and stuff like that. And then my buddy, who was a UFC fighter back then, Eddie, the Manic Hispanic Sanchez. Eddie Sanchez, he looked at me. He's like, you know what? You're the Mexicutioner. And I was like, I like it. And then we just, I won the next fight by knockout, and then told the announcer, and he announced it, and that was it. It stuck.
Damn, that's what I'm talking about. That's a good way to earn a nickname. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, it was fun. It was cool.
Now I know that I don't know if you have any fights lined up, but is there anyone that you might be willing to see or that you might think would be a good fight coming up, or do you just want to enjoy your life for a while and just take it easy?
Yeah, we got a couple of different things but it's all just good conversation. But I look at it like at my age, it's good that people still are even conversating about me. So, I am currently no longer under contract at BKFC, but we'll see what happens with those guys. And then there's a couple other small things that are working in the pipeline with glove boxing, and that is definitely a bucket list item. Like I'm getting towards the end of definitely towards the end. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. So it's like, if I was gonna do it, now would be the time to do the glove boxing match because that was the original dream. I always wanted to be like Julio Cesar Chavez.
Ooh.
And, MMA just kind of happened, and I was like, all right, this is what I'm doing instead. So definitely would like to do a glove boxing match before it's all said and done. But we'll see what happens with bare knuckle. I don't know. They might call me every now and sometime, and we'll see what happens.
Would you ever do one of those super fights? Like if they called you up and said, you and Rampage Jackson on a card, you know how Triller's doing that stuff, the Jake Paul's doing that stuff. Would you ever do that with like one of the old UFC fighters or somebody else like that?
Absolutely. That's funny. I'll go ahead and say it. That's one of the conversations that was being thrown around that rematch with Rampage, or even a fight with Tito Ortiz. You know, so it's like,
please beat his ass.
we're
Please
just putting
beat
it out,
his ass.
putting it out in the universe. You know, speaking it into existence. So we'll see what happens.
Hell yeah. What was this other one I had? So I'm curious because a lot of people talk about the difference in damage taken in different fights. Obviously, with gloves, there's more surface area that you hit, and some people say you get more brain damage if with the boxing glove too, it can rattle the brain more, and that with bare knuckle it varies because if you're hitting bone, it'll look worse than what it really is. Do you feel like the damage was more from one than the other, or kind of just nah, not really?
I mean, it's like, I will say this, like, so other than my last fight with Frank Tate, but there's some other circumstances I'll tell you about that. Like, I've never had a fight after bare knuckle when I was like put out for like other than superficial damage. Like back when I first started, like I would fight Saturday, fly back, and I would be at work on Monday. That Tony Lopez fight, I was at work on Monday with stitches in my eyes and stuff. You know, so it wasn't like, it was just superficial damage. MMA, like when I fought like Sergey Karatanov, like I remember I was down, I was like in bed for like 2 weeks, like I fought a gnarly concussion from just a 3-round war, you know. And I think it's because your hands are taped, you have the padded glove, and that's just a license to fucking throw as hard as you want. And,
Right.
you know, so there's that. But like the Frank Tate fight, like I had a really gnarly concussion because, unfortunately, you know, not making any excuses, my dumbass got knocked out in training 4 weeks before that fight. I probably shouldn't have taken the fight, but whatever. I'm not, you know, quitting was not showing up was never an option. So when I got knocked out by Frank Tate, that was literally the second time getting knocked out within 30 days, and it was like really, really bad. So that concussion was gnarly. Like I was like 2 weeks. Every morning when I got up, I would have to sit on the edge of the bed and like wait till I wasn't dizzy, then would stand up and start my day. And that was definitely scary. You know, that I've never had that happen before, and that made me really take a look at like, if I'm gonna keep doing this, like I better adjust my training. You know, I'm 40 years old now. I can't be going to war, you know, every day in the gym. And that's you know, that's how I used to do it. It's like I would find like the craziest I want to find the gnarliest boxers in all Miami, and I want to fucking fight those motherfuckers 3 times a week to get ready for my bare knuckle fight. And you know, up until that guy, I mean, you know, it's funny is that this is a crazy he's a Nigerian Olympian or something like that. He's 6'5", like 270. And I sparred him the first time, and he dinged me pretty good. And I just got mad. I went home, ran sprints, came back 2 days later. I did really good. I was like, all right. And then the coach was like, yeah, come back again. So I ended up sparring this guy 3 times in 1 week. And on the third time, he knocked me out. So it was like, I was my fault, my bad, because my ego, like, nah, I'm good. I can fucking fight these guys. Fuck this shit. But really, in reality, like, when I look back, everybody's a genius in hindsight, you know? You look back, there's really no reason to fight people. There's no boxers like that in BKFC. I'm sorry. I'm not to be a dick, but there really isn't. There's no fucking 20-2 pro boxers, Olympians. You know, there's no reason to do that. But back then, I wasn't thinking that way. Back then, I was having a pissing contest with like, oh, I beat you this day. I'm going to come back and fuck you up again. And, you know, I paid the price for it. So, you know, all that being said, got to adjust some stuff, change my approach to training. And, you know, I definitely still have a little gas left in the tank. And I'm excited to see what happens in early 2023.
Heck yeah. Now, one question I do like to enjoy, I love asking every fighter, everyone we interview, celebrity boxing, BKFC, street beats, whatnot. Do you have a specific kind of music that you train to, or do you train with no music?
Oh no, I do. It's funny. I was telling Britt the other day, I was like, you know what? I believe I have my taste in music. I'm an old white guy with my taste in music. I just love I just love classic rock. You know, like
All right.
that's what I like to train to, like classic rock, like Led Zeppelin, The Doors,
Okay.
you know, The Who, stuff like that. You know, and it's like she hates it. It's pretty funny, but it's all good. I like that shit. Early Metallica, you know, like that's
Oh
crazy.
yeah.
When I think like early
Keep 'em on.
Metallica came out like 40 years ago.
When you think about how
Like
long ago, it's like, oh my goodness.
I know, I was like, what the fuck? Like Master of Puppets, that's almost 40 years old.
That's Jeez, that's crazy. I like
That's crazy.
the original Metallica with Cliff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Of course, pre-Black Album.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's I feel like I like music nowadays, but you know, with some of the older music, you can put an album on and play it start to finish. Whereas nowadays, some people try to get those singles, you get 2, 3 good songs, and you're skipping half the songs. It's just filler. I'm like, yeah, no, I don't want that.
Exactly.
All right, let me see. So, was there anyone that you think that that you were never able to fight that you wanted to? Because I know with COVID happening, a lot of fighters retired. It put a lot of damper on a lot of people's careers. Was there anyone that you kind of wanted to, but you know you'll never be able to anymore? Or is it kind of like, you just fought so much, it just doesn't matter?
No, I mean, not really. I'm like, if a comet were to hit the earth tomorrow and something like that, I'd be happy with what I was able to do with the time I had.
Hell yeah. And I do have one last question. I won't keep you too long because I know I'm grateful for the fact that you even gave us your time. But
Hell yeah.
being skilled, I know some people talk about how they just get ready before a fight or anything else. But then, some people still get just a tad nervous because going into a fight, anything can happen. Do you still get nervous, or do you have a way that you calm your nerves?
Uh, yeah, I have like some, but it wasn't until like the last few years or so. But before then, I used to be a nervous wreck, like horrible self-talk, like all the whole nine, man. But now I'm really good. I do a really good job of visualizing, even like scripting out my fights to how ideally they're gonna go, scripting out how I get out of difficult situations and everything. So like when it happens in the fight, it's like, oh well, this is how it's supposed to happen.
Hell yeah, fair enough. So, Joey, you have any other questions before we ask him to drop some cool ass links and everything else?
I just want to see if he agrees with the bare knuckle fighter Bobo. Bobo said to me on our interview, bare knuckle looks worse because of the cuts, but he thinks that, like you were saying, there's going to be less long-term damage from bare knuckle. Do you agree with that than boxing or MMA, the long-term damage part?
I mean, I don't know. It's like 50-50 with that, because it's like I know that like some people you can't look at Tyler Goodjohn's picture. I just like to think about Tyler Goodjohn's picture from this last weekend show, and like you can't tell me that motherfucker doesn't have permanent damage. You know what I mean? Like we are regardless if it's gloves or with gloves, we're out here risking our lives, so it's like this shit is serious. And I get it. Like if you can get hit more times with a glove and all that stuff, so it's like you can get up and have the standing 8 count and all that good stuff. But it's just one of those things where I really will, hope the younger generation doesn't think, oh, this is safer than boxing, I'm gonna go do this. Like, I don't know about that. You might want to fucking think about what you're trying to do with your life.
Right? Maybe 30 looking like Sylvester Stallone.
So I mean, yes and no. I'll say it that way. Yes and no. It's like, yeah, you definitely take more hits in normal boxing, but it's not like those hits don't hurt or don't do you damage with bare fists.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your time. We won't keep you all night, but why don't you shout out where everybody can follow you so we know when your next fight is and everything like that?
Yeah, real basic. Joey Beltran _MMA on Instagram, and Joey Beltran at Facebook. That's about it. I keep it
I
simple.
follow you on Instagram. I cannot wait for your wife's fight to whoop some ass. I'll be watching, seeing you in the corner so you can cheer her on.
Hell yeah, she's gonna kill it. September 10th. Tune in, watch my baby girl go to work, get that 115-pound title. So that's gonna be awesome.
Hell yeah! Thank you so much again for your time. It truly was a blessing. Thank you very much.
Don't worry,
we are honored.
Thanks for having me on.
All right. Heck
Have
yeah.
a great night, man.
Bye.
All right, guys. We got a quick word. We got a quick word for well, Buddy V got so excited I forgot what I was saying. Okay, we got a quick word from Wero at Heart in the Fight, and then after that we have JT Savage for you.
Hey, it's Wedo. As some of you may know, we are hosting an event here in Arizona in December. So the goal of this event is to have as many cross-branch matches as possible, the biggest name Street Beast has to offer. So we've reached out to members of these branches, and there's a lot of interest in attending. However, much of that interest is going to be stifled because of travel expenses. Heart in the Fight is offered to step up and help fundraise. We're going to be taking donations, all of which will go towards providing as much help as possible to your favorite fighters from the OG Yard, Street Beef's Dirty South, Street Beef Scrapyard, and Street Beef's West Coast. We will also be selling t-shirts and other merchandise from Heart in the Fight, such as Wedo and the Mexican, Locked In, exclusive Street Beef's anniversary shirts, and of course the rare Heart in the Fight shirts. Again, all proceeds, every dollar, go back to the fighters to make sure that we provide the best matchups possible. If you're interested in pre-ordering anything, please DM myself or Daniel.
Make sure you support that. Order your shirt. I already did.
There we go.
I accidentally just muted everybody. There we go.
What's up, JT?
Man, what's up, man? I'm sorry about earlier, dude. I was trying to get it on my computer. Look, it's this big, crazy setup, and I just put it on the phone. It is what it is.
It's all good. It
No worries, man. And we started a little bit late, so things went a little crazy.
Yeah, I got a lot of big opportunities just kicked off, and we're in the middle of a transition. You know what I mean? So oh man, literally not joking when I say just went to a very small trailer to a 3,000 square foot 4-bedroom.
Dang.
So yeah, definitely did that. Thank you for having me on the show.
Oh, hell, I'm excited, man. We just have Beltran. We got JT Savage. You know, I followed both of you guys. I watched your two fights that you had at Street Beast. I'm excited. I've even seen some of your interviews on like the Fuller Show and stuff. I'm excited. This is gonna be a fun.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, I'm excited to be on.
I like you as a fighter, but I got to tell you and be completely honest, it's your story that got me. And a lot of it, now we're not exactly, but you and I traveled a lot of the same road. So I appreciate what you went through. And I respect where like you talk about your growth. And I just love that.
Yeah. That's the biggest thing. You know, I've been a fighter my whole life. I grew up in Memphis, Tennessee, man. And I was born like literally a first 48 special. There was nothing there. You know what I mean? All I had is that in a fade. But every time I moved, like, you know, I had 4 or 5 brothers, man, and a sister, and we like all slept on the bed on crates. You know what I mean? Like I really had nothing at all. And I got used to violence as a way to cope, I guess you'd say it. I mean, I was a little BO guy. And I got, like I said, 5 brothers. And every time you move to a different part of the jungle, right, somebody's got to man up and go fight somebody. So it got for me not kind of worried about when it was coming. It didn't matter. I was going for them, right? So then, you know, at the time, my social conditioning didn't really have me right because every single one of my peers was going a little bit above and beyond 3-6 Mafia trying to take care of their families. You know what I mean? And I bucked it as long as I could. And whatever, man. I made a lot of bad decisions. And truth be told, best thing that happened to me in my life before my wife and kids was Memphis Police Department put 2 bullets in me, man. Yeah. Set me on down my way. And I mean, my whole life I was locked up. In and out. And it was to the point that I didn't even think about it out here. It was crazy. And I ended up doing I got 3 lives, man. 3 lives plus 10 years. Gave it back 18 months later, gave it back. Still did 8 years. And then ended up coming down here to Georgia and like getting 3 more bids, dude. So like statistically, I probably should have died of like a gang shootout or, you know, anything, man. A lot of my friends, I don't have any friends left, you know, and it's amazing, dude. Like it's, my soul has been shaken last 3-4 years. No, it really has.
No, I really felt you when you were sitting there in the gym recording, and I was like, and I followed you before, and I've made some comments on your posts before, but I was like, I really got to reach out and see if this dude's interested, because not only as a fighter, but the part of street beefs and the part of fighting I love is how it touches and changes lives. And it seems like going to street beefs not only opened your eyes, but I watched that interview too, and you were like, bro, I realized I thought I'm a fighter by nature, but I need to train. I need to get cardio. And it seems like it focused you.
No, I'm gonna tell you what really focused me, and it's a crazy thing for a man to say. Been a tough guy my whole life, you know, but whatever. My dad was the same way. You break your leg, you walk it off, you know. But however tough I was, man, I done did 4 bids in prison. I was a whole thug. So every time I got out, I did the same thing. Just pretty much set myself on the same behavior that would get me back in 30 days. You know what I mean? But this time it hit different. Somebody had, I heard a counselor call me a statistic, said I was a career criminal. I was their bread and butter. So I'm like, you know, it hit the fields, right? Somebody's controlling me. So I made a decision, dude. Wrapped myself, sold my knife, gave my phone away. I was tired, dude. I was tired. My mom had lupus. All my friends were dead, and I was 30-something, dude. It's not cool anymore. It's a little weird that all these, you know, hundreds of guys in these level 5s know me, and I don't have no kids. People my age got kids. They got jobs. They got careers. And, you know, and I was a fighter before, but I messed that up. You know, I had a drug problem, and I was a dumb kid. So that's the only thing I ever loved my whole life, because that was the only constant, right? So I was going to give it up, and I got out at the parole center. Last chance place, man, Vision 21 in Douglasville, Georgia. And I walked up on an absolute monster. You hear me? I call her my wife now. And I ain't never been scared of nobody in my life, man. But I pulled up on her, and they used to call me something different. I used to be Buck Wild. You know, you always got these dumb hood names. And I pulled up on her, and I just knew I had everything going on. Player from the Himalayas, right? And I said, listen, my name's Buck Wild. She said, yeah. Did your mama name you that, dumbass? Because look here, right? I got a son, and he needs a father, not a co-defendant. So just like that. Just like, yeah. 6 weeks later, dude, I've never had a quarter one in my life. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was dead. Not Italian women, Bubba. Not Italian women. Definitely.
Oh.
It was.
I think
my phone?
no, we're having some bad connections right now. It did it for a second. I was hoping it would pop back in.
Can you hear me?
Now,
Yeah.
we got you again. There we go.
Yeah. So like I said, man, she put the pressure on me, dude. And first time in my life, I was completely humbled by simple logic. I ain't never seen that like that in my life. It really intrigued me, because I was like, you know, I don't know. I said, I hope you know there's all kind of people scared of me. She said, oh yeah. You saw me heading back to prison. Yeah, that's a nice little retirement spot. So anyway,
That internet's getting us.
I'm telling you what, hold up now. Now I've been a what I thought was a player my whole life. Now that boy I'm telling you about, right, that kid, and it's very, very rare, right, that a woman these days, it's for real, and it's a bad thing. My mom didn't. Says, look, if my kid don't love you, you're dead. Right? That right there is mucho, wife credentials right there, right? So it was hell. So then when I meet the kid, right, like I'm from Memphis, and I still like I'm from Memphis, and I was still I tried all I could to go back to jail. I guess I was dumb. But the kid, right, I'm thinking all kids love me. Easy. Happen like that, bro. My son now is a calm, laid back, very skilled fighter. My son then was the kids on the other side of the tracks that didn't let me around their kids. You know what I mean? So I pulled up and he told his mother that she's concerned I look like a thug. And he was not wrong. Yeah. So here it is 4 years later, born some change. And right behind that, right, she forced me to do the fight. She put all the money into it. You know, I didn't want to do it. I couldn't even look at the boxing match. So I thought I gave my even a little bit.
The connection, no.
Yeah. The connection is bad. Oh.
You wanna? We could take a quick second to do Buddy V's Fighters to Watch if you want.
You mean
Buddy V's Fighters to Watch.
All right. Now I have 2 fighters for the day. One, funny enough, I haven't been able to ask, but there's a fun time of JT Savage is one of the fighters to watch because, excuse me, when I was rewatching some of his fights, well, one of them he did clearly lose, the other one win, and I think he personally won it. I think it was his first fight, and I think he personally watched Fire Chicken did a breakdown of the fight. It's the only fight I've seen go to sudden death. This is what makes him added to the list. 3 rounds. People could barely breathe after 3 rounds. My first fight, I could barely breathe, and my opponent Gumby was like, "What? One more," and I was like, "Oh, fuck that!" And that's when we had 3-minute rounds, but they did 2-minute rounds. All of a sudden, sudden death. And if you don't fight, you know when you're at the end of your fight, you're breathing hard. You're like, "All right, I gave it my all." Just to hear one more, you're like, "Wait, what?" Okay, I mean, you're down because you're a fighter, but it's like, well, shit, I gotta mentally prepare now. I just exhausted every last thing I had. Then the other 2 fighters I have, one Magician. He's I think he had a boxing match in the scrapyard. He fought OG Dabs. Really good fight. I liked his skill, and he ended up getting like a TKO. The opponent couldn't go, dropped once, twice. The cardio got to him for sure. So I think I want to see what happens when he goes with someone that's going to go the distance with him. He has skill. His matchup was really good. I like his form. I want to see what else he could do. I want to see him come back out. Third pick of the day. Now this one has to be said. This guy's been on the list before. But because this man is traveling to the West Coast yard to go hand out a butt whooping, we're going to say Viking Warrior because he is a beast. We already love him. We know him, but he's going to the West Coast. And
I cannot wait for him in 619 to fight. I cannot wait. There has been so much shit talk back and forth in fun, you know. But
oh yeah.
Did I cut you off or was that it, buddy?
No, I was excited. I was just like,
okay. Well, before we get back to JT Savage, who's back with us, we got a quick word from Overtime Hustling and then back to the conversation.
Overtime Hustling.
What's good? It's your homie, Freezes Christ. Y'all know the deal. Make sure y'all head on over to overtimehustling.com where you can catch all the latest merch, all the newest mags, all the media, everything, you know what I mean? And you can also find me on Winging It with the homies Keith G, King Dale, and Payne Gusto. And you can catch me on Turf Tales with the homie SK, as well as Backbox, you know what I mean? And if you got nothing to do on Sundays, even if you do got something to do, make sure you tap in the Overtime Reactions hosted by the homie Cuzzo. And I cannot forget the homie Jay over there at the Yankee and the Brit channel. So make sure y'all go over there and check them out. And hey, check me out, your boy Freezes, on that Real Talk with Jay. It was a hell of an interview, yo. Gotta do it again. I keep saying it because I mean it. We gotta do it again. I had a great motherfucking time. But anyway, you know who it is. Freezes H, OTH, Yankee and the Brit, Winging It, Turf Tales, Overtime Reactions, Chronicles Podcast. You know the drill. Cush's Corner. It's a motherfucking movement. So move with it. Or move out the motherfucking way. Simple and plain.
Overtime hustling. We hustling overtime.
I'm back. I don't know what happened with the connection. God almighty. At least I'm back. What's up? Where we at?
And hold on. Now, buddy, you're frozen.
Man.
all right. We're back. We're ready to go.
Move. Are we good? I'm not going to move.
All right.
We're good, I think.
Man, anyway,
All right, we're good.
where exactly I was at? Anyway, yeah, look here. My wife told me, my wife now, man. Anyway, she stood up on me and made me be the best version of myself. I was, before, the only problem I ever had, right, because I got a Muay Thai base, and only problem I ever had was groundwork. You know what I mean? You put some hands on, they get me on the ground, I'd spaz out. I never really did nothing like that, you know? So back in the day, MMA was you train different things individually, right? And just like make your own thing out of it. Now they got cheat sheets, you know what I mean? So I was getting lit up, and I was at a jiu-jitsu tournament at the Citadel in South Carolina. That's where I'm going to move now. And I couldn't get fights. I was a little older. But that Jax fight had really, I went out there thinking it was like a backyard, nothing. Yeah, man, 105-degree weather. Yeah, I think I had one bottle of water all day because I didn't know when I was going in. And I met Rico. Rico, one of my best friends now. Rico, the day he fought. And Memnon wasn't even supposed to fight, right? He really just fought because he was bored. That's when he got the little chin hit. Anyway, look, so we're there. They warmed me up, and I finally got in there, dude. And that guy was built different. Yeah, that guy hitting it hurt. But every single round, I progressed. Anyway, I felt like 3 out of 4 I got. Yeah. But really, they go to me into that little extra round, and I ain't going to lie, it pieced me up on that guy. So afterwards, I know I still had the dog in me, right? And true story, the most amazing thing come from that fight. Not just the name JT Savage, not just, whatever. My wife bet me, right? I never drank. I've been clean 6 years, right? And she bet me. She said, look, I'll put everything into your training. Just go to this thing. These are your people. This is street fighting, right? You go here, and at least you know if you still got it. If you don't, I'm wrong if I don't. So she done did 2 really solid girl things. She done told me that no matter what, this boy is above everything else, which is super crazy solid. Mom, I wish I had. And behind that, she done told me, look, I'm wrong if I don't let you go do your dream, right? And I was working from like 6 o'clock in the morning to 12 o'clock at night sometimes, man, doing construction. It was bad. Couldn't make anything. So she did. She put $1,800 into the trip, dude. We went way up there. Didn't think I'd be nervous. Definitely was. Pretty sure I got my face cracked. But she told me if I won. And by all rights, man, they run it back. You know what I mean? That's like in the second one, I think in the Florida boy, they called me out as 1-0 because they gave us both the win, right? Because he got the extra one, but I got the 3 prior rounds, me and Jax. So I won it. So she said, if you win it, then you got to take a drink with me. I don't even drink, but I did. Now, a little bit of backup on that. My wife, which she's my girlfriend then, her cyst, her ovaries are flipped some kind of way she ain't supposed to have any more kids, right? So the weird thing is, I don't know if it was all the testosterone or what, but that night, right, baby Savage was born, man. I got a little girl. Yeah, I swear, I'm not lying to you. Yeah, named her Arabella for God's gift. And Savage she is, yeah. And after that, that's all it was, right? So my son, he's my son now. He wasn't my son then. He was, why are you with my mom? I'll hurt you, kind of. He was slow with it. But the most amazing thing, I couldn't find an even ground with the kid. If I played anything harder than NF, he's tripping out, dude. I grew up in 3-6 Mafia. You know what I mean? I have fitted caps. He don't even wear Nike at the time, right? Because people hit knees, and that ain't even my forte. I don't care nothing about that. Wow, He thinks EBT recipients, then he was raised by them kind of people. Yeah, so I had a lot to change up. And I finally found an even ground because he did what I would have done as a kid. Mom went in the bathroom, the bowling alley. He pulls up. He said, listen, I got to make sure you take care of my mama. And I'm like, do you need like a check stub or something, bro? Like, he said, no. You want to throw hands? And I was like, listen, homie. I said, I don't really know what's going on, young man, but I do know one thing. No matter how long I've been gone, child abuse has never been a good thing, dude. This is not okay. And he goes, well, they ain't going to do no child abuse when I get you. And I was like, you know what? I found my even ground. Yeah. So I was like, all right, let's get it. He said, put your hands up. I said, my hands are up. I'm not going to lie, I'm a little scared, but I'll do anything for your mom, right? So he swung really hard. And I don't know, 5 minutes before he might would have connected because he did. It was horrible. He never fought a day in his life. And by the time I was his age, I was fighting 20 gangbangs a week. You know what I mean? So he threw the punch, and just like that, I guess I still had it. He was on his stomach, wrapped up in a Kimura, and he looked up at me, trying not to scream, and he goes, listen, I want to learn all that, right? And that day, no lie, that day, like 5 minutes later, prior to this event, he only drank water, Gatorade, because only lowly people drink dark soda, ignorance. But after that, right, he walked over to the thing to get something to drink. His mom said, what do you want? He goes, you know what it is, cuz I want a Dr. Pepper. He ain't never in his life. You know what I mean? Never in his life. I knew right then, man, it was going down, man. And after that, every time I seen him, dude, man, and I wanted to do better, right? because we weren't even in a position to go to see him. We had to move into the in-town suites. We were both. Hold up now. I met her at the parole center, not because she was a visitor. You understand, right?
Yeah.
She went to time shell too. So the whole thing is like absolutely against any statistic, right? Anything, man, my entire life, I was supposed to be dead. Nope, I survived it, man. I don't look 36 for a reason. Call it Jesus, call it Georgia Department of Corrections, whatever you want to do. I just want to say, because I'm strong-willed, but my son, supposed to have been way more damaged than he is now, okay? The kid went from, you can look on my page. I'm going to drop links on the end. Team side, we got a whole team page. And the kid was scared of his own shadow, dude. And I got to, be nothing but myself the whole time. But you see a picture of me and Mom, right? Me and Mom's got I got a self-made Savage shirt on, and she's got a, Queen Savage. We got Jordans, and we are Memphis and Savannah. We are a mistake, right? So this guy right here, he's got an Adidas shirt. What is it? Adidas socks and an Under Armour shirt, and he thinks that he is an elitist, and it's hilarious seeing us together, right? But as you look on the pictures, man, I always was worried, right, when I got out, because all I was ever really looking for was a long run. Yeah, I was in institutionalized. It was over with. But this kid, man, when he seen me, he smiled. And not smiled like I want something. He was my buddy. You know what I mean? Hanging out. Whatever. He's on a soccer team. I beat him in soccer. He's right here. So I just want to let him know. I'm telling everybody, right? He got 8 in soccer, football, that, whatever. But so after that, though, me and him stayed at it, man. And it became a beautiful thing, man, even to the point I've taken more risk. Not illegal, mind you. No, I'm just saying, because when I got out, right, I thought this time, especially when I met her and the boy, that I was going to do everything by the book, get a job, pay taxes. No lie. At 33 years old, I had yet to do any of this. Yeah. So it's pretty extreme, man. And, it was in and out of mental health my entire life. I think by the time I met her at 33, I had been in longer than I'd ever been out. Yeah. So it's, it's stacked against me. Yeah. So I get this job and I work 3 years straight. And let me tell you something, as long as you work for somebody else, you are insured to have work and just enough to keep your bills paid. So you got to come back to work. That's it. You know what I mean? And it got bad, dude. My daughter, when she was born, the hospital wasn't great and they messed her C-section up. Right. So we got infected and she couldn't breastfeed the baby. So the baby had gastral issues. Right. So you want to talk about amazing. The baby was born and they're going to fire me because I pointed out this job I tried for this whole time. Right. We've been fighting for Jaden for 2 or 3 years. In court, we supposed to have him. We had a 2-year plan. COVID backed everything up. So any positive thing we did have is just on hold, man. It's over with. Went back to my original trouble area. Been there 3 times by the edge of Georgia. 3 times I went to prison from there. No, that's stupid. But that's the only place I had family close. We can get Jay, right? And he's number 1. Probably still is on the low. I'm soft on him too. But behind that, it got bad. And I couldn't even worry about me fighting no more. He wanted to fight. Look, dude, I had this big bag in the yard and I'd be gone all day at work. He'd sit back there kicking the bag. And mind you now, as a teacher, I had just got done doing, 3 years again in the penitentiary. And I'm not a gang member in prison. I'm a little guy. And I am arrogant and stupid. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not really the nicest. I'm not the guy you get to come to the kid's birthday party immediately upon release. Yeah. So I probably wasn't. I never told anybody before. I just know I was trying to do for him what I wish somebody did for me, because my dad taught me. But it was mainly when he was strung out, when he was mad, or just whenever he wanted to punch him back. So I didn't have no idea what I was doing, but he'd been training. He wanted to fight Muay Thai. He wanted to kickbox. Okay. So, yeah. So I'm at that job, and it's the last week they're going to let me work. The COVID thing, every time I went back, every time I got a headache, they sent me home. So I never caught a check. My wife is telling me, you've been 15 years in prison. You let these folks get you. I'm like, look, I ain't really got much of a choice. You know what I mean? I put a lot into this whole family thing. So finally I found somebody. I'm sitting at work, and Street Beats got me this too. And somebody said something about youth kickboxing, right? I think it was Brandon Lee out of Florida, right? Visual MMA. And I was like, hey, I got a kid, and he don't know me. So he's like, oh, great. Don't say nothing back. So when some random pro fighter was like, dude, you totally kicked ass on Street Beefs. And I was like, I appreciate it, bro. Boom. Buddy hits me right behind, right? Hey, man, you got a kid? What's up? I'm like, yeah, that's how you bring it too, right? So he goes and, we got the camp. I'm putting him through a whole 6-week camp. But see, the universe got away, right? If you're gonna earn something, it's not gonna be easy, not even a little bit. Yeah. So here I am. The baby had a ileus, right? An ileus is swelled all the way out. She couldn't digest food. She's so dehydrated, she almost died. So this is 3 weeks into his camp. Yeah. We rushed to the hospital in Savannah. We don't have any training material, nothing. So you know what I did for his first camp? First of all, just a second, make this very clear. Team Savage Fight Club, up to that baby went to the hospital, did not exist. You hear me? I was JT Savage, and somehow or another I got 1 million views. So now I'm uncomfortably, talk nice about, and I don't really like it by then. You know what I'm saying? It's weird. You know what I'm saying? It's not big famous, but yeah, I get it. Wow, it's aggravating. So they really like the spotlight. So here we are. I didn't got him his little opportunity. I'm kind of on the fence. It's been a little cover, right? So I'm on the fence about saying we're going in as what is it? Individuals. I'm going in independent because the Street Beast fighter is going in independent. That don't mean anything with my son, right? So the guy's talking to me and he says, what team you fight out of? I swear to you, one of my other students there, right? He was just my friend then, just come over to learn with my son. He goes, he walked in at that very moment. He was like, do that shit, man, Team Savage. And I was like, I said, okay. Team Savage, and dude goes, Team Savage Fight Club. I said, yeah, that's what I said, Team Savage Fight. Right? So now it's Team Savage Fight Club. Boom, we got something. Kind of. Yeah. So, but look, it gets even worse. In this camp, I pulled a real North Memphis makeover on our whole situation. It worked out fine. God bless. I swear I did, man. In the middle of all this with the baby, she can't hold the baby down while they're putting tubes in her. He's not even supposed to be there. You know what I mean? So he can't be in there because of COVID. He's at a hotel. So the plan is training when I can. Hope it works out. Yeah, that's not the plan, but that's the plan, right? I'm supposed to stay up there with the baby because I'm the only one that can take it. Yeah. And then the 2 hours you had to sleep every day, I'm supposed to go back and sleep at the hotel. Yeah, that didn't happen, man. The 2 hours, you know what I did in 2 hours I was supposed to sleep? I went and drug his ass through that pool. Yeah, until he almost passed out. You know what I mean? I took him in the weight room, and I think I might have accidentally committed child abuse. I got him ready for real, dude. I'm talking about he was getting it. So then, right, he needed to spar. I'm not close to anybody. So you know what I did? And I don't care. It's over now. I snuck him in the hospital at 9. Cleared out the room, and I said, listen here, you better get out the way. So we sparred every night, dude, no kidding. And then look, I know he's ready for any kid, right? Because I haven't been beat up by a kid since before I was born, probably. You know what I mean? So we go, yeah. So I was always a little guy. So now, last minute, man, it's bad. We can't get nothing going on. He still goes to the fight. Everything's fine. So the kid disappears, right? He's supposed to fight, right? So now we're there. We didn't come all the way down there. Somebody's got my baby who's freshly, okay, and very tense situation, but we found a replacement. When I say replacement, I mean a 24-year-old monstrosity. It's like freaking, Mick Krokov, right? It's standing there, and Jaden looks up at him. He goes, he's about my weight. I was like, oh, give or take. You know what I'm saying? And he goes, he said, Dad, you think I'm ready? Listen, dude, I'm all around the world right now. My son's sitting right here, and absolutely he was ready. Okay. And I says, come on with it. I said, no, is he ready for you? You're my kid, bro. I ain't don't worry about that, right? So, but the thing is, before we went in, all right, Mark Moses, he's a big, he was some bullshit at one time, right? Like he's the one that always likes to get knocked out and start, whatever. That's his niche, man. His niche is just being fucking crazy. So whatever. But anyway, he'd been talking to me while I was at the hospital. He was like, I can totally make you some shirts. I swear, in them 3 weeks, right? Because at the beginning of the camp, we weren't even Team Savage. So when the baby got sick, in 3 weeks, I created Team Savage Fight Club out of the air. I swear to you, right? She likes a phoenix. Yeah. My mouthpiece had Savage on it like that, the first Street Beast fight. And I just like the whole A-team look with the team thing. Yeah. So we threw it on there. There it is. There's a fucking logo, right? Team Savage. And I thought about a motto on the back. And the first thing I thought about, right, was this kid was scared of something his whole life. It was everything. But I gave him confidence through combat. Right? So bam, now the shirt's got a logo and it's saying. And then I went and I thought of every single ex-convict that had made it, huh? And I pulled up on them. I was like, look, dude, I need sponsors. You ain't got to do nothing but put your shit on the back of my shirt. Yeah. So 3 weeks into it, we go from a father trying to teach his son how to do something, right? That just barely made it as a fighter on street beefs, you know, barely even only a success because I'm not back in prison yet, right? And really every single day worried about me failing as a father. Now we walk in, dude, and we got whole ass team shirts. Right? You know what I'm saying? Look, fighting on Fight TV, my son is, right? The dude ducked out of my fight. I was so blow. But guess what? We go in, right? Nobody knew what it took to get to this fight. You know what I mean? It's not like, you know, we just came from a team and no, sir, bro. Like every dollar we had, and then putting him up in the hotels when the baby was sick, that took everything we had. Yeah, that was supposed to be the backup money for when they fired me because the baby was born. You know what I mean? So everything's on this. We get in there, and I'm gonna tell you something, man. If you can look, I will at some point see the videos of it. But look, he was about what was he? Yeah, like 165 at 14, right? So he just hit puberty, right? So he's just on his you know all the baby weight. Yeah, he just hit puberty, so he's big. Boom. So here we are, right? This kid weighs 165, and so does this fucking monster, right? And he walks up and he's like, "Thank you for taking the fight, sir." And I was like, you know, in the back of my head, I'm like, dude, you better not beat my kid up, man. It's gonna be a problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I know, sir, like I'm gonna go back there and put that on him. I'm gonna go back there and say, listen, we're gonna make this sweet, right? You know what I mean? But you know, I didn't. I let it go. I'm for real. So he's 15, you know, he's fresh, he's 14, right? 14 years old. He goes up in there, guy's 23. Yeah, I know, right? So then the guy, I think he was, you know, WESPN guy, the guy that had died, right? Or the COVID or heart thing or something. That's one of the last fights that he covered, yeah? So no matter what, Team Savage, whatever it was going to be, is now on TV. Now it's up to Junior, right? So now he goes in, everybody's watching, and I just know that in a little bit, when I hold my bleeding, dying son, you know what I'm saying, that I did the best I could. No, sir. I beg to differ, bro. That's my kid. He went in there, and this guy's like a head over him, like literally twice the size. It's amazing. And you gotta see him, man. Slipping, dodging. Look, dude, I'm talking about he he outpointed him in the first round. Outpointed somebody that was been trained his whole life in actual school. You know?
Damn, that's what I'm talking about.
So you know, toward the end of the first round, everybody was like, dude, you totally should have took him to a place. I'm like, yeah, kiss my ass, whatever. But see, the reason I'm getting aggravated because I hope they ain't right. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jesus Christ, I ain't never taught nobody. I just taught, you know, they were so wrong. And they're gonna still be wrong until I die. You understand me? This kid went a whole round with a grown-ass man. Outpointed him. You understand me? But see, in the middle of it, but then something happened that almost never happens, dude. And it sucks for a fighter, right? I don't know if y'all been fighting a long time, you know, in an actual cage and all that, man, but I'm gonna tell you what happens. And something stupid happens, like the floor slips, or there's a pause. See, that's why you go to smokers and things like that, right? So you understand how to keep your heart rate up, right? So your adrenaline don't dump. Because if it dumps, you're just going to be a really pretty punching bag. You know what I'm saying? So in the middle, like the whole floor ended up slipping. And nobody could figure it out. So here we are in the middle of the round. It's been like 5 minutes, dude. This kid has never been in a fight in his life. Everything he's doing is because he's fresh and going, right? And I'm telling him, hey, man, keep moving. Move around, talk some shit, jump up and down, something. You know what I mean? And he came out 3-6 Mafia, weak-ass bitch. I swear to God. You know what I mean? So it's built up. And, the floor slipped. I seen him doing it. He was like, I got it, Dad. It's no problem. And I was like, oh, my God. So I get it done. He goes up in there. And even so, dude, he still went about halfway through that second round, and he caught the guy. Like, the dude kept kicking him in his ribs. I said, Deadpool, because that's the only thing I could think of, right? Because when I taught him, everything I teach him, right, I hit him with it first. Because now you know how it feels and what you need to do to defend against it, right? So I hit him in them ribs with these shins like one time. And his mom almost divorced me. So he knows what that is, right? I said, yeah, you can't be. He's like a Deadpool, huh? So I said, Deadpool. So he caught the kid's leg, dude. So you got my 14-year-old, right? He's barely, it's like you know, it's like it's crazy. Jack and the Beanstalk, right? And he caught, bam, perfect timing. Bam, dropped him. It was beautiful, right? Caught his kick, dropped him, and then stood up and did this. Yeah. Oh, my God. I said, oh, shit. So anyway, and then the dude jumps back up. He's pissed off, right? Because the 14-year-old just dropped him. right? And I'm thinking, I don't even give a damn, bro. If he loses right now, your mama rate, you know, whatever, dude. I'm on it, you know, right? Because I've never been the guy in the corner, and this is my boy. You know what I'm saying? So I'm with it. And this is Junior right here now. After that night, I called him Buckshot because that's what he sounded like when he hit him. Bang. You know what I mean? Buckshot savage. So, dude, man, the dude got up, and it was an obvious setup. I'd run this a million times with him, but it hit a little different when you're dragging, bro. Like that fog, you ain't never been in the fog. You get hit 2 or 3 times, really, really hard, or you overdo yourself, bro. That's what the training's for. You get in the fog, and that's why you have a coach, right? Because you can't see anything. You're just swinging. You know what I mean? It was bad. Anyway, but he was better than me already, y'all. I swear to God. Right? The dude set up the kick, low, high, faint, and kicked him dead in his head. Swear. So his mom at that point was thinking about, you know, she got divorce papers in her. I just know it. But didn't knock him out. Grace of God, right? He sits down, but he was better than me, right? He's already more professional than I ever be. He sat down and looked around, huh? And the referee was like, "Are you good?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "You want to keep going?" He said, For real? He said, no. So anyway, but he walked away from it, dude, unscathed, 24-year-old. At that moment, I realized what my purpose was, right? Look, I could be a fighter the rest of my life, yeah? But, I mean, keep it real, dude. I mean, I do it to keep my demons off me, right? Yeah? And to be there for my son, right? I told him when he can whoop me, I'll stop fighting. He needs to hurry up. I'm getting old, right? But at the end of the day, that right there sparked all kind of shit, dude. We got fights and fights and fights. When the place finally did fire me, we got our taxes back. We got Jaden full time, and we got an LLC. Yeah. Right behind that, a gym contacted me. I'm talking about this is within months, right? A gym contacted me. A guy named Joey Drew, and it's funny because he's the ex-officer of the law. You understand me? He got a hold of me, and he wanted to sponsor me as my fight team. Yeah. So now I got a whole gym, right? I just got a business now. I can build up clientele without killing my pockets with insurance, and you know what I mean? I got a whole thing. So look, behind that, I started putting on smokers, right? We called them knuckle up. Under the insurance, it's fine, right? Because when you come down here, you sign the waiver and you get a month's membership. Anything that happens in that ring is nobody's business, correct? So that way, I was able to hold pretty much fights, right? In the gym. Yeah, it's something anybody else in Street Beast can't do at that time. So all the Street Beast fam, holler out to Joseph Thomas, right? Joe Dirt, a bunch of Street Beast fam that was in Georgia started coming to these things, right? Because I started holding them to give the guys real live experience. You know what I mean? So they get walkout music. It's cool, man. I'm telling you, they get walkout music, corners, gloves. I referee it. It's awesome. And we
might be flying down there.
I'm serious. Come on down, dude. Look, we got some real monsters. And behind that, Jaden, dude, he has been, it's phenomenal, man. Like, I picked up so many students, but forever and always, that's my legacy, right? Matter of fact, look, come here. Here he is right here. Look at this guy now. Huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look.
What's up?
Yeah. Yeah. He's got the same tattoo. After he fought a grown man, I decided that it was okay if he was a savage. Yeah. No pressure.
Yeah.
This is this little kid I was telling you about, yeah? Not a little kid anymore, dude. And he would rather put gloves on than get any Christmas present or go to a date right now. He cares not for that, right? That's
handing out ass whoopings. All right.
That's all he likes to do. And guess what? When the dude kicked him and knocked him down, he goes, I said, "Are you all right?" He said, "Yeah, I'm trying to figure out when they're going to let us run it back." Huh? Like, he don't have no understanding, dude, for real. And it's his mindset, yeah? After the Jax fight, I ain't going to lie to you. I knew for a fact, right, that I had absolutely been slipping on my pivot, dude. Ring rust? No, sir. Man, listen, that was not my face to the ground. Like, for real. Like, it just stopped turning black all the time for no reason, like 4 years ago. So, no lie. So after that, I went to a UFC fighter in Savannah. And I would like to say I got all my technique back right, but no, I got the shit kicked out of me. Like a whole bunch. Like a whole bunch. So I started getting out the way, yeah. And, that was before. So anyway, fights and fights and fights. We've had up and downs. But I ended up building this whole business. As a matter of fact, look here. We have sponsors. Look, just a second. Look, these are the new ones, right? Shout out to Brad Leet. Look, talking about balls. This dude called me before my knuckle up and said, "Dude, I'm 54 years old, right? I fought on Street Beast 3 times, and I want to be on your fight team." And I'm like, dude, I don't ever fight at my events. I feel like a bully. You know what I'm saying? And he goes, dude, I will give you $200 to fix your thing, and I'll come stay at your house the night before. I said, I swear to God, if you do that, I'll fight you right now. You got nuts, bro. You know what I mean? So he does. He comes. Yep. He comes. And it went about like I thought it would, but guess what? At the end, he was humble, and he's been driving 3-4 hours every week and paying me $100 a training round for Lee. So now his daughter coincidentally does these. And now I've got a new clothing merchandising brand. So look, bam, that's what's over the heart, right? Confidence through combat. Yeah, confidence through combat. So then we got this right here on the back. These are the actual walkout shirts. Yeah.
Yeah, I like those.
Yeah, man, look, I'm telling you, dude, and she can make anything, right? Again, small things that we do, like this woman had never made a shirt in her life, right? She went through a lot of damage and shit, dude, and she had this machine back here. She made 30 of these. They're perfect. I watched this one 30 times, not a glimpse. She made it absolutely perfect, and that is now, we're gonna help get her business out there, right? Because I had professionals make my shit and it fell apart day before the fight. Yeah. We constantly go to fights. I was just been blessed, dude. Every time things get really, really, really bad, right? One of my students asked me the other day about relationship advice. Look, dude, my entire life, I was inside of a box. You know what I'm saying? They look at me as coach, and I run 6 miles every 2 days with them. And relationship advice? Yeah. I've had one woman I called my girlfriend, and I married her, dude, and she almost didn't marry me. You know what I'm saying? So, but you know what I do? I become the change I want in the world, dude. I think of my first impulse and I tell them the exact opposite. Works out every time. Yeah.
Like, I want to be very nice.
Do what?
You're like, I want to be a very nice and respectful person.
There we go. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Either way. Yeah, look, like I said, the merchandise, anything you want made, dude. If y'all ain't got nobody that specifically makes anything for Yankee and Brit, the place is, she's on Facebook. You can get her Amanda Leet, right? If not, get a hold of me. But Explicit Attire. Yeah, Explicit Attire, dude. They're that, right?
Damn, you're all just getting it done down there. I like it.
Oh. No, it's the internet again. The connection.
I was like, damn. Oops.
Well,
he didn't even get a chance to plug his merch, all this stuff. Oh, we only got Amanda Elite so far, than all his Savage Fight Club and stuff. Oh no,
well, it was nice to talk to him. I will get all of that stuff from him, and I'll leave it in the link below. I'll go add it. I'll get it from him tonight and go add it in the description below so everybody can go follow him.
Hell yeah.
And he's more than just a coach, all around great guy.
Hell yeah, I could tell. And
he's
there's
been
very
through
few people that
some
can be
shit.
genuine.
Yep, he's been through some shit, and I just thought his story might be great for some other people. So I thought it'd be great to have him on. And it was a great show, buddy. We got to go from Joey Beltran to JT Savage. That was
a fun ass show. That was cool as shit. So it's interesting seeing all walks of life. I love it.
Hell yeah. Well, before we get out of here, since we had a long show for everybody today, why don't you let them know what you got going on and where they can find it?
All right, I got some killer pop-up events coming up soon. There's going to be a lot more giveaways. So go to Zwell-world.com to find any merch, your Yankee and the Brit shirt, any sort of Zwell merchandise that you see, a couple of the featured fighters that we have. Also, Zwell_Buddy V, the Instagram. That's where I do my sweepstakes, my giveaways. I have a new painting I might be doing soon. I don't know. We'll see. But there's just lots of fun stuff. And this weekend, I am fighting again. I have an MMA match with someone called Fenrir. And I am very excited. And 5'7". So let's see what happens. He's about my height. We're both sitting around 150. I'm like 153 right now. But still, I'm ready because you know what? After this fight, I'm coming for those belts. Whoever's 155 or 145 MMA, I want to take them both, and I want to pick which one I want because you're not allowed to have two at the same time. And I'm going to come do that, and I'm going to make a statement. So I'm excited. So stay tuned for this fight coming up.
And quickly, before we get out of here, let's let JT throw out Hey,
All right, first of all, I got back in the studio just in time to say you want to hit somebody about 145. What's up? I'm just playing. Look.
Yeah,
Well,
hey,
shout out
hey,
to-
all right.
Look,
See?
I'm
Shout
with
out
it.
to
Yeah, I'm with it, dude. Look,
media.
I'll bring you a shirt. Yeah. Anyway, hey, man, I wish we had more time. Hey, how about we do this? We further at another show sometime, like just call it. Yeah, we'll do it again, dude. Because
We'll do it again, but before we
yeah,
do
it should
it
be an
again,
editing
make sure you
fucking
shout
nightmare.
out all your stuff.
Yeah, man. It's anyway. Yeah. So for one, just for shit and giggles, right? I'm finna show y'all something real fast, right? Because look, before this last fight, right? Mind y'all, went to Island Fights. I got bowed in the top of the head in the boxing match, yeah, and went 3 rounds with pretty much out legs. But they ain't talking about shit. I'm a savage, right? So look, this right here, I got back. I got a sponsor, and it's kind of a big thing, dude. I went to the fight in a Nissan,
We are losing
living
you
in a
again. If you
900
do
square
that.
foot 900 square foot trailer now. Let me show you something. So now, I'm in a 2021 Cadillac XT5, and this is
Damn,
where
okay.
look. This is where I'm moving. This is where I'm moving right here, guy. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All I'm saying, right, is anybody in the world thinks they can't do it, right? Look, when I went to this last fight, dude, $27 in my bank account. Right? Look, my lights were off. My lights got turned off 9 times last month, bro, in this fucking trailer, right? Not lying to you, right? I just paid my landlord, and then he was vindictive having my lights cut off, dude. So right now, I'm a sitting duck. We'll come back from the fight. I done got leaked from a dirty box of bow. I don't even know if I did anything. Yeah. Behind that, I got contacted by y'all about this. Fucking awesome. Love this show. Then behind that, I had someone, I'm gonna say a silent sponsor, that's literally a fucking multi-millionaire, dude, that went from broke at 30 to at 32 being on Forbes, bro. Right? And the guy fucking believes in me. So now this is where I'm at, kicking shit. Yeah. And I do what I love, which is be a dad and help other people, bro. Ain't that some shit? You know what I mean? If anybody don't think you can do it, dude, I tell you what, our next show right here, you see all this paperwork, you know what this is, sir? This right here is what I can get off public data stuff about my background check. Huh? I'm a whole idiot, right? Somebody stole my identity, you'd be in real trouble. But guess what? I was able to give my son confidence to combat, bro. Right? And I do all I can to try to help anybody because I figured I got 15 years of my life, right? I gave away trying to be a fucking you know, when you switch sides to do the right thing. We got a Facebook page, right? It's a private thing. So you got to ask. I'm gonna add both of y'all. It's a Team Savage Fight Club page, right? Yeah. It's for the students. Badass. All the content you want, dude. And then I got a website I'm putting up. Also we got a YouTube page. Yeah, we just put it up, man. And it's also Team Savage Fight Club FC, I think. And it's got me and him on our shirts, you know, whatever. But it just tells our story. It's got him, you know, kicking a fucking buddy dog. He's this big. To my yeah. And then he's got him knocking out Roman. Right? This is our story, but it ain't about the fight. Right? Right? Combat could be anything. It could be fucking, you know, bill collectors. You know, anything's going on. And at the end of the day, I got a podcast on Anchor, right? Yeah, just started that shit, right? I just had my pods the other day. Anyway, these are all.
Oh, that's rough.
Did it freeze or am I still on?
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, it froze for kept freezing. Oops.
Even my hat, savage. Yeah. Get out of the way. Yeah. That's my stuff. That's how you can get a hold of me. And anytime, dude, if anybody thinks they can't do it, I'm there. You can talk to me, right? You can talk to me. I am usually willing to travel to help somebody out, dude. Right? For real. So, I mean, it is what it is.
Hell yeah.
If nothing else, I give my kids a future.
Oh. Nah. The internet, it's been so long.
Okay, I'm back.
Well,
Y'all
thank you so much for giving us your time, man.
Yes, sir.
Hell yeah, I can't wait. I gotta come see you sometime down there.
Come on with it, man. Come on with it. I got like 9 pairs of gloves and I ain't scared of shit. Plus, hey man, I love y'all's fight. I love your fights and I love this show. So I'm super glad I got to get on there. Either way, you just give me another platform to show what anybody in the world can do, right? Scarface and them started this off. Yeah, trying to help people from doing that. I used to be that guy that there was no help for, dude. Right? I was the person I trained my students to be able to defend it. Yeah. Now I can't stand it, dude. I've been clean 6 years. I don't even drink. I'm living dangerously tonight, bro. I got like a coffee. You know what I'm saying? But that's it. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So, well, thank you for having me on the show, man. And let's try it again and keep the scheduling right and got like solid internet. And that should be way more player, dude. I'm telling you.
Absolutely. You're welcome back. Thank you again for your time. Keep doing what you do, man. And one world, one love. Deuces.
That's right, man.